The Neotech workers backed away as Jiho, Sumin, and Heyoon approached. The green patterns on their skin glowed softly. Plants grew where their feet touched the ground. Doyoon stood his ground. "Stay back," he ordered. "The planes will be here in minutes." "You need to see," Jiho said. "You need to understand before it's too late." Guards aimed weapons, but vines shot from the ground and twisted the guns away. The forest was protecting its human partners. "The forest has shown me visions," Joe continued, stepping closer to Doyoon. "Visions of the past and the future. I don't care about your hallucinations," Doyoon snapped. "They're not hallucinations," Sumin said. "The forest remembers everything. It has watched the earth for millions of years." Jiho reached out his hand toward Doyoon. "Let me show you." Doyoon backed away. "Don't touch me with that. Infection. It's not an infection. It's a connection that was always meant to be." Jiho's voice was calm. "Long ago, humans could all speak with the plants. We were part of the same system." "Lies," Doyoon said. Heyoon stepped forward, checking her tablet. "Sir, look at these readings. There are plant markers in human DNA that don't make sense unless—" She paused. "Unless we evolve together. In partnership. The path we're on leads to death," Jiho said. "The forest showed me. Without the balance that plants provide, the air fails. The water fails. Everything fails, including humans." In the distance, the sound of planes grew louder. "But there's another path," Joe continued. "The symbiosis that's happening to us isn't random. It's a return to what should have been. Humans with the strength and wisdom of plants. Plants with the mobility and creativity of humans." As he spoke, the green patterns on his skin became brighter. Tiny flowers bloomed along his arms, beautiful and impossible. "This is how it was always supposed to be," Sumin added. "We were meant to be caretakers, partners with the planet's mind, not separate from it." One of the Neotech workers removed his protective mask. "I want to see," he said. "I want to understand." "No," Doyoon shouted. "Stay in formation." But more workers were putting down their tools. The forest's defense hadn't hurt any of them, only stopped them. Now they were curious. "The planes will be here in 2 minutes," Heyoon mourned, checking her tablet. Jiho looked at Doyoon. "I'm not asking for your surrender. I'm offering you salvation." Something in Jiho's eyes made Doyoon pause. For the first time, doubt showed on his face. "What do you want?" he asked. "Let me show you what the forest showed me," Jiho said. "The truth about our past. The possibility for our future." The planes were visible now, black dots in the sky growing larger. "1 minute," Heyoon whispered. Doyoon looked at the sky, then back at Jiho. "If I agree to see these visions, will you stop the planes?" "Together, we might," Jiho said. "The forest can reach far, but it needs human minds to connect with human machines." After a long moment, Doyoon nodded. "Show me." Jiho placed his hand on Doyoon's forehead. Green lines spread from his fingers, not entering Doyoon's skin, but forming a connection. Doyoon gasped. His eyes widened. In his mind, he saw what Jiho had seen. Earth as it once was, green and alive with one vast mind. Humans living as part of that system, not apart from it. Then the breaking of the bond, the forgetting, the long ages of destruction. And then he saw the future. 2 paths. One leading to gray skies, dead oceans, the last humans fighting for the last resources. The other showing green cities, trees and buildings growing together, humans and nature in perfect balance. 30 seconds, Heyoon said. Tears ran down Doyoon's face. "I understand now," he whispered. He grabbed his communicator. "This is Doyoon. Abort the mission." Repeat, "Abort the mission. Return to base immediately." There was static. Then a voice. "Sir, we're already in position for the drop." "That's an order." Doyoon shouted. "Abort now." The planes were directly overhead. For a terrible moment, Everyone held their breath. Then the planes turned, banking away from the valley. The forest had won its first victory. Dawn broke over the valley. Neotech forces lined the edge of the forest. Workers wore protective suits. Guards carried flame weapons. Giant machines with cutting blades waited to move forward. Doyum stood at the front, speaking into a device. Capture the 3 subjects alive if possible. The forest is to be cleared completely. Any plant material we find is to be taken to the lab. Inside the forest, Jiho, Sumin, and Heiyun prepared. The green lines had spread across all their skin now, forming beautiful patterns like leaf veins. They could each feel the forest, though Jiho's connection was strongest. They have too many weapons, Heiyun said, looking at her tablet. She still had access to Neotech's systems, and they've called for military support. The forest has been preparing too, Jiho said. He placed his hand on the ground. Information flowed into him from the roots. Plants have been evolving for billions of years. They know how to fight when they must. But they're going to burn everything, Sumin said. Jiho smiled. Fire needs air. Plants control air. He stood up. It's time. The 3 walked to the edge of the forest to face Doyun's forces. Workers stepped back when they saw the green patterns on their skin. Last chance, Doyun called through a speaker. Surrender for study, and we'll make the clearing of this forest quick and painless. The forest doesn't surrender, Joe answered, his voice carrying strangely far. And neither do we. Doyun gave the signal. The machines moved forward, blades spinning. Workers followed with cutting tools. Guards aimed their flame weapons. Then the forest responded. Grass grew suddenly tall and tough, tangling the legs of the machines. Vines shot from the ground, wrapping around wheels and gears. Flowers turned to face the workers and released clouds of golden pollen. Workers who breathed the pollen began to see things that weren't there. Some dropped their tools in confusion. Others turned and ran, fighting invisible enemies. Masks on, Doyun ordered. But it was too late for many. A guard fired his flame weapon. A wall of leaves rose up, so full of water they wouldn't burn. Steam filled the air, creating a thick fog. The machines aren't responding, a worker shouted. The control panels of the cutting machines were covered in a strange moss that had grown inside the electronics. Screens went dark. Heiyun turned to Jiho. The forest is smart. It knows how to disable technology. It's had a long time to watch us, Jiho said. Plants don't forget. Doyun's face grew red with anger. Enough games. He pulled out a small silver device and pressed a button. From the sky, 3 drones appeared. They flew above the fog and sprayed a chemical mist down onto the defending plants. Where the mist touched, leaves turned brown and died. Plant killer, Sumin gasped. They're poisoning them. Jiho fell to one knee, feeling the pain of the dying plants. But then something new happened. The oldest tree began to glow blue-green again. The light spread to other trees, then to bushes and grass. Where the chemical fell, plants changed. Their leaves developed a waxy coating that the poison couldn't touch. New plants grew to replace the dead ones, already adapted to the chemical. They're evolving in real time, Heiyun said in wonder. The forest is adapting to the attack. Doyum saw it too. His face showed fear for the first time. He spoke urgently into his communicator. What is he doing? Sumin asked. Heiyun checked her tablet and went pale. He's called for the Scorched Earth Protocol. They're going to burn everything. The whole valley. The sound of aircraft engines filled the air. Military planes appeared in the distance. They're coming with fire bombs, Heiyun said. Nothing can survive that much heat. Jiho stood tall, his eyes glowing green. Then we have to stop them before they get here. He looked at Sumin and Heiyun. The forest has shown me what we need to do, but I need your help. We need to reach more people. How? Sumin asked. The same way the forest speaks to us. Jiho took their hands. Through connection. through the silent bond that has always been there. Together, they walked toward the neotech forces. Plants parted before them and closed behind them, creating a living corridor of green. Guards rushed into the lab with weapons. Jiho raised his hand, and vines burst through the floor to block them. The building shook as more roots grew beneath it. "Run," Jiho told the scientists. Most fled, but Doyum stood his ground. "This power could save our dying world," Doyum said. "Let us study it. Control it." "It's not meant to be controlled," Jiho answered. "It's meant to be joined." The door burst open. Suman and Heihun rushed in. "Jiho," Suman gasped, seeing his changed appearance. The green patterns on his skin moved like living things. His eyes shone with forest light. "I'm okay," he said, his voice stronger now. "Better than okay. I understand now." "Security is coming," Heihun warned, looking at her tablet. "They're bringing heavier weapons." Doyum smiled. "Be reasonable. You can't escape." Jiho closed his eyes. Outside, trees bent toward the building. Their branches tapped on windows, breaking through. Leaves and vines flowed in, filling the room with green. "We need to get back to the heart of the forest," Jiho said. "The oldest tree is helping me change. The process isn't complete." A vine wrapped around Doyun, holding him in place. "You'll regret this," he warned. Surrounded by a shield of moving plants, Jiho, Suman, and Heihun left the lab. Neotech workers ran from them in fear. Guards who tried to stop them found themselves tangled in suddenly growing grass. Back at the oldest tree, Jiho placed his hands on the ancient bark. The connection between them glowed bright enough to light up the whole clearing. "What's happening to you?" Suman asked, using her scanner to check his body. "A symbiosis," Jiho explained. "The forest is changing me, and I'm changing it. Human and plant becoming something new together." Suman studied her readings with wide eyes. "Your nervous system is changing. Plant structures are growing alongside your human cells, but they're not hurting you. They're improving you." "The forest showed me the truth," Jiho said. "Long ago, all plants on Earth were connected in one great mind, and humans evolved not to destroy it, but to be its partners, to give it mobility. Intelligence of a different kind. We were meant to work together, but we forgot," Heihun said quietly. "Yes, we forgot how to listen, how to join." Joe looked at his hands as green lines flowed beneath his skin. "I'm remembering for all of us." Suman's scanner beeped with new readings. "Your brain activity is off the charts. New neural pathways are forming. And look at this." She showed them the screen. "Your cells are changing, but so are the trees. They're both becoming something in between." "The first human-plant hybrid," Heihun whispered. "A living bridge between species." "I can feel everything," Jiho said. "Every tree in this valley, every root, every leaf turning toward the sun." He smiled. "And more. Seeds buried deep, waiting for centuries. Plants sleeping under cities all over the world." His eyes widened suddenly. "And I can feel Neotech's forces coming. Doyum has called for more weapons. They plan to burn the valley." "Can we stop them?" Heihun asked. "Not alone," Jiho said. "But I'm not the only one changing." He touched the scanner in Suman's hand. Green lines spread from his fingers onto the device, then onto Suman's skin. She gasped but didn't pull away. "It doesn't hurt," she said with surprise. "It feels right. The forest chose me first because I was open to it," Jiho explained. "But it wants to connect with more humans. It needs us, and we need it." Heihun stepped forward hesitantly. "Me too." Jiho nodded. "If you're willing. The forest knows you try to protect it." Heihun took a deep breath and reached out her hand. "For a better future." As their hands met, green lines flowed between them. Above them, the ancient tree glowed brighter. Its branches seemed to form a protective dome over them. In the distance, Neotech vehicles approached with flashing lights. The forest was preparing for war. Neotech guards took Jiho away. His eyes met Suman's as they dragged him out. She could see fear there, but also something else. A strange calmness, as if part of him was somewhere else. What will they do to him? Suman asked Heyoon when the guards were gone. Tests. Scans. Heyoon looked sick. I never wanted this. I just wanted to study the plants. Outside, workers moved toward the oldest tree with cutting tools. The massive tree stood taller than all others, its trunk wider than 3 people could reach around. Then something strange happened. As the first worker touched the tree with his saw, vines shot out from the ground. They wrapped around his legs, not hurting him, but holding him in place. He yelled in surprise. All across the valley, plants began to move. Flowers turned to face the Neotech camp. Bushes grew thorns in minutes. Grass became stiff and sharp. The forest is defending itself, Heyoon whispered. In the Neotech lab, Jiho lay strapped to a table. Scientists placed sensors on his head. Doyoon watched from behind glass. The subject's brain shows activity patterns never seen in humans before. As scientists reported, it's as if parts of his brain that should be dormant have awakened. Jiho barely heard them. In his mind, he was flowing through the root network of the forest. He could feel every tree, every plant. And they were changing, waking up from a long sleep. Asterisk, we have been waiting for you. Asterisk, the oldest voices told him. Asterisk for someone who could hear us again. Humans once knew how to listen, long ago asterisk. Images flowed into Jiho's mind. Earth covered in green. A web of plant life that thought and planned and remembered. Not separate trees, but one great mind made of billions of connected plants. And humans had once been part of it. His temperature is rising, the scientist said with alarm. And look at his skin. The green lines under Jiho's skin were spreading, forming patterns like leaves. But he wasn't sick. He felt stronger than ever. Back in the forest, the oldest tree began to glow with soft blue light, the same light that had come from Jiho's eyes. The workers backed away in fear. Suman's tablet beeped. The readings from the forest were off the charts. Plants everywhere in the valley were growing faster than should be possible. Roots spread, flowers bloomed, and made seeds in minutes instead of days. It's evolving, Heyoon said in wonder. The plants are changing to defend themselves. A Neotech worker screamed. A vine had wrapped around his arm, but not to trap him. Where it touched his skin, small green dots appeared, tiny plants growing out of his skin. He tore the vine away and ran. We should go to the lab, Suman said. Jiho is the key to all this. If they hurt him, the forest might do worse than grow faster. Heyoon finished. She grabbed her access card. Follow me. In the lab, alarms were ringing. Jiho's body temperature had risen so high that the sensors couldn't read it. But he wasn't burning up. He was changing. Look at the cell samples, a scientist told Doyoon. Human and plant cells are merging. It's impossible, but it's happening. And it's not killing him. It's making him stronger. Doyoon's eyes narrowed. Can we replicate this? Control it? Before the scientist could answer, the lab lights flickered. Outside, giant roots broke through the ground, lifting one corner of the building. On the table, Jiho opened his eyes. They glowed bright green now, like sunlight through leaves. You can't stop this, he said, his voice mixed with a deeper, older sound. The forest has awakened, and it remembers what you have done. The straps holding him snapped as plants grew through them. Jiho sat up, his skin rippled with green patterns. What are you? Doyoon asked, backing away. Something old, Jiho answered. Something you forgot could exist. The first of many. The machines came at dawn. Giant metal jaws bit into the earth at the edge of the valley. Trees fell with terrible cracking sounds. Jiho and Suman watched from their hiding place among the rocks. We need to stop them, Jiho said, His face was pale. I can feel the trees screaming. Suman looked at him with worry. The green lines under his skin were more visible now. She had taken a sample of his blood last night. Under her portable microscope, she had seen something impossible. Tiny plant cells living inside his human cells, not fighting them, but working with them. "We need help," she said. "We can't stop a whole company by ourselves." A worker in a blue Neotech suit walked near their hiding place. On the back of her suit was a name: Heyoon, Senior Engineer. The worker looked different from the others. While they cut down trees without care, she moved carefully, taking samples and frowning at her readings. Twice she asked other workers to move their machines away from the oldest trees. "Maybe not all of them want to destroy this place," Suman whispered. Before they could decide what to do, a terrible sound filled the air. The biggest machine, a drill taller than 10 people, had hit the center of the root network. Jiho screamed and fell to the ground. His body shook. Green liquid leaked from his nose. The Neotech workers turned at the sound. Heyoon reached them first. "What's wrong with him?" she asked, kneeling beside Jiho. "Help us," Suman begged. "The forest and my friend are connected somehow. Your machines are hurting both of them." Heyoon looked confused but checked Jiho's pulse. "He needs medical help. Come to our camp. We have doctors." "No," Jiho said, his eyes opening. They glowed faintly green. "They'll study me. Cut me open. I need to stay near the trees." Heyoon looked from Jiho to the trees and back. Slowly, she nodded. "My tent is at the edge of the camp, near the trees. I'll help you there, then get the drill to stop. Something strange is happening with our readings anyway. The minerals we detected, they're moving." With Heyoon's help, they carried Jiho to her private tent. Inside were computers, plant samples, and detailed maps of the forest. "You care about this place," Suman said. Heyoon nodded. "I joined Neotech to protect nature by working from inside. But Doyoum doesn't listen to my reports anymore. He only cares about profit." The drill stopped. Jiho's breathing became easier. His eyes returned to normal, but the green in his veins was darker now, spreading farther. Heyoon ran tests on him. "His neural patterns have changed," she said, showing them the screen. "They matched the electrical signals from the trees exactly. It's like they're becoming one system." "The trees chose me," Jiho said weakly. "They needed a voice, a way to be heard by humans before it's too late." "Too late for what?" Heyoon asked. "For everything," Jiho answered. "The trees are the last piece of a mind that once covered the planet, a mind that kept the world in balance. Without it, everything dies. The air, the water, us." A shadow fell across the tent entrance. A tall man in a perfect black suit stood there. His cold eyes moved from Jiho to the computers showing his strange test results. "What have we found here?" Doyoum asked, his voice soft but dangerous. Heyoon stepped forward. "Sir, I can explain." "No need," Doyoum said, smiling without warmth. "I always knew there was something special about this valley. I just didn't expect it to be so useful." He looked at Jiho with hungry eyes, a human connected to plant consciousness. "Think of the possibilities." Jiho tried to stand, but couldn't. The pain from the damaged roots was too great. "Take him to the lab," Doyoum ordered, "and cut down the biggest tree. I want to see what happens." "You want me to see what?" Suman adjusted her backpack as she followed Jiho up the rocky path. Her dark hair was tied back tightly, her face serious. "Just trust me," Jiho said. "I need another scientist to confirm what I found." Suman worked with Jiho at the institute. She studied plant communication. If anyone would understand the strange things happening in the forest, it would be her. "You look different," she said, studying his face. "Are you sick?" Jiho shook his head. He hadn't told her about the green tint that now lined his veins, or how he could feel the direction of the forest like a compass in his mind. When they reached the top of the hill, Suman gasped. The valley of trees spread before them, vivid green against the dry brown world. "How is this possible?" she whispered. As they entered the forest, Jiho watched Suman carefully. "Do you feel anything strange?" She shook her head. "It's beautiful, but no, nothing strange." "Why?" So it was just him. The connection was only happening to him. They set up camp and their equipment. Suman placed sensors among the roots of the largest trees. The machines would record any electrical signals the plants sent to each other. "Plants do talk to each other," Suman explained as they worked. "They send warnings about danger through their roots. They share food, but it's very slow and simple." Jiho nodded, not telling her about the clear words he sometimes heard in his mind when he touched the bark of the oldest tree. That night, Suman woke to find Jiho's sleeping bag empty. She grabbed her light and looked around. In the distance, she saw him walking between the trees. His eyes were closed. He was sleepwalking. "Jiho," she called, but he didn't respond. Suman followed him deep into the forest. He moved without stumbling, as if he could see perfectly with his eyes closed. He stopped in a circle of the oldest trees. Suman gasped. The ground was glowing. Blue-green light pulsed through the roots of the trees, making patterns on the forest floor. The patterns matched the rhythm of Jiho's breathing. She looked at her tablet. The sensors were going crazy. The electrical signals between the trees had increased 1,000 times, and most strange of all, they matched exactly the brainwave patterns they had recorded from Jiho earlier that day. "Impossible," she whispered. Jiho stood in the center of the circle, his arms out. The roots of the trees had broken through the soil and were slowly climbing up his legs, but they didn't seem to be attacking him. They were connecting with him. Suddenly, Jiho's eyes opened. They glowed with the same blue-green light. "They're talking to me, Suman," he said, his voice strange and distant. They'd been waiting for so long, waiting for someone who could hear them. "Who has?" she asked, backing away. "The forest. Not just this forest. All of them. The green mind that used to cover the whole world." Joe smiled. "They remember when humans were few. They'd watched us grow and build and destroy. They'd been trying to talk to us, but we forgot how to listen." The light faded. The roots sank back into the soil. Joe fell to his knees, suddenly normal again. Suman helped him back to camp. Her mind raced with questions, with fear, with excitement. In the morning, Jiho couldn't remember what had happened, but when Suman showed him the data, his face went pale. "Something impossible is happening," she said. "The forest is talking, and somehow it's talking to you." Before Jiho could answer, a loud noise filled the air. They ran to the edge of the valley and looked out. Their hearts sank. A line of huge yellow machines was moving toward the forest. Workers in neotech uniforms were setting up a base camp. Leading them was a tall man in a perfect suit. Do-yoon had arrived. The forest had run out of time. The world had changed. Where forests once stood, now towers of glass and metal reached for the sky. Most people had never seen a real tree, only the fake ones made of plastic and circuits that lined the streets of the megacities. Jiho wiped sweat from his brow as he climbed the rocky path. His small drone flew ahead, scanning the area. According to old maps, there might be something special hidden beyond these hills, something green and alive. "This is pointless," he muttered to himself. The Planetary Preservation Institute had sent him on many such trips, and they always ended the same way. Another dead zone, another place where nature had lost the fight against machines. His boots crunched on dry soil as he reached the top of the hill. Jiho stopped. His mouth fell open. His drone beeped frantically, its sensors overwhelmed. Below him stretched a hidden valley, filled with trees. Real trees, hundreds of them, with leaves that danced in the wind and bark that hadn't been manufactured in a lab. Streams of clear water cut through the green floor. Birds, actual living birds, flew between branches. "Impossible," Geo whispered. His heart beat faster. According to records, the last natural forest had died 30 years ago. He nearly fell in his rush down the slope. When his feet touched the edge of the forest, something strange happened. A tingling sensation ran up his legs, through his body, into his head. For a second, Geo thought he heard a voice, not with his ears, but somehow inside his mind. Welcome. He shook his head. Just excitement making him imagine things. He took samples, careful not to harm the plants. His hands trembled as he collected soil, leaves, and water. That night, Geo camped at the edge of the forest. As he slept, dreams came to him. Vivid dreams of roots spreading beneath the soil, of water flowing through wood, of sunlight turned to food through green leaves. He dreamed of being tall and still, watching centuries pass like days. He woke with tears on his face, feeling both rested and strange. Back at the institute in the city, Geo's boss looked at his findings with narrow eyes. "These readings can't be right," she said. "Nothing grows this pure anymore." "But I saw it," Geo insisted. "A whole valley. Trees taller than buildings. Animals I've only seen in old videos." "Keep this quiet for now," she said. "Run more tests, if this is real." She didn't finish her sentence, but Geo understood. In a world of synthetic everything, a real forest would be worth more than gold. That evening, as Geo looked at tree cells through his microscope, a news alert flashed on his screen. The Neotech Corporation had filed papers to begin mining operations in the exact area where he had found the forest. Their scans had detected rare minerals beneath the soil. His blood ran cold. Neotech was the largest company in the world. They made the air filters everyone needed to breathe. They ran the weather machines. Their leader, Doyun, was known for getting what he wanted. The alert showed Doyun's face, handsome, cold eyes, perfect smile. "These resources will help build a better future," he said to reporters. That night, Geo dreamed again of the forest. But this time, the dreams were dark. Trees burning, roots torn up by giant machines, and through it all, a sense of pain so deep it felt like the earth itself was crying. He woke gasping, sheets soaked with sweat. The feeling of connection remained, pulling at him like a physical force. Somehow, he knew the forest was calling to him. Geo packed his bag. He had to go back. He had to protect it. As he slipped out of his apartment before dawn, he didn't understand why he felt so strongly, or why his own hand had a faint green glow in the darkness. Something was changing in him. Something ancient was waking up. "You did the right thing," Geo told Doyun, as they walked into the heart of the forest. The plains were gone, but they all knew this was only the beginning. "My bosses won't see it that way," Doyun said. His communicator had been beeping nonstop. "I've disobeyed direct orders. They'll send others." Heyoon checked her tablet. "They've already frozen me out of most systems, but I can still see some messages. They're sending a full military team, not just to clear the forest, but to capture all of us now." "Then we don't have much time," Suman said. They reached the oldest tree. Its massive trunk glowed with soft light. The ground around it was covered in new types of plants that hadn't existed days before. "The forest has been planning this for a long time," Geo explained. "Waiting for the right moment, the right people. Now it's ready to spread beyond this valley." "Spread?" Doyun asked, still nervous around the glowing plants. "Look," Geo pointed to small white seeds floating in the air. They drifted upward, caught the wind, and flew toward the distant cities. The new seeds carry the awakened consciousness. They can grow anywhere, even in concrete. And they'll try to connect with humans like they did with us. Doyun asked. "Only with those who are open to it," Geo said. "The forest doesn't force itself on anyone. The bond must be accepted." Suman gasped, looking at her tablet. "It's happening already. Look at these news reports coming in." The screen showed images from cities around the world. Strange plants were pushing up through sidewalks. Flowers bloomed on the sides of buildings. Trees that had been decorations in city parks were suddenly growing faster, reaching toward each other. "It's beautiful," Heyoon whispered. But not everyone thought so. The news showed people in panic. City workers tried to cut down the new growth. Some places sprayed chemicals to kill the plants. "They're afraid because they don't understand," Jiho said sadly. Do-yoon nodded. "I was afraid too, until I saw the truth." A new alert flashed on Heyoon's tablet. Neotech has convinced the government this is a dangerous invasion. They're sending soldiers with stronger weapons, burns that even the plants can't heal from. "We need to help more people understand," Suman said, like Do-yoon did. Jiho closed his eyes, connecting deeply with the forest mind. "There's a way. The oldest tree has been gathering energy for this moment." He placed his hands on the ancient trunk. Green light flowed up his arms and into his body. The patterns on his skin became more complex, shifting and changing. "What are you doing?" Do-yoon asked. "Becoming a stronger bridge," Jiho said, his voice strained. "The forest needs to reach more minds at once." The glow spread from Jiho to the ground, then to Suman, Heyoon, and even Do-yoon. They felt the connection strengthen, minds touching minds through the plant network. "I can feel people," Suman said in wonder. "Not just here, but in the cities too. Anyone touching the new plants." "They can feel us too," Jiho said. "The forest is showing them what it showed Do-yoon." On the tablet, the news changed. People who had been fighting the plants stopped. Some reached out to touch leaves and flowers. Their faces showed surprise, then understanding. But not everyone was connecting. Soldiers approached the valley in armored vehicles. They wore suits that protected them from any contact with plants. "They're coming with fire," Heyoon warned. "Real fire that will burn everything, even the evolved plants." Jiho stood tall, his eyes now fully green. "Then we must meet them. The forest has one more gift for us." The ground around the oldest tree opened up. Something rose from deep underground, an object wrapped in roots and moss. As the plants pulled back, they revealed an ancient stone, covered in carvings of humans and trees together. "What is it?" Do-yoon asked. "A reminder," Jiho said, "from the first time humans and the forest worked together. From before we forgot." The stone began to glow with the same green light that filled their veins. "It's time to remember who we really are," Jiho said. The military vehicles reached the edge of the valley. Soldiers in protective suits stepped out, carrying weapons that could burn hotter than any natural fire. Their leader spoke through a loudspeaker. "This area is now under government control. Surrender immediately." Jiho walked forward to meet them. Behind him came Suman, Heyoon, and Do-yoon. The ancient stone floated between them, carried by a cradle of living vines. "We don't want to fight," Jiho called out. The green glow from his eyes was now so bright it cast shadows. "We want to show you something important." "You have 10 seconds to surrender," the commander answered. "After that, we burn everything." Jiho looked back at his friends. "It's time." They formed a circle around the stone. When they touched it, the carvings lit up one by one. Images of ancient humans and trees working together, building together, living together. 5 seconds, the commander warned. "Remember," Jiho whispered. And with that word, the stone shattered into thousands of glowing pieces that rose into the air. The fragments spread out, forming a dome of light over the entire valley. Where they passed, plants grew instantly. Even the soldiers' flame-proof suits sprouted tiny green leaves. The soldiers raised their weapons, but suddenly stopped. Every one of them stood frozen, eyes wide. "What are they seeing?" Heyoon asked. "The truth," Jiho said. "For just a moment, their minds are connected to the forest mind. They're seeing what we saw." The commander slowly lowered his weapon. Then another soldier did the same. Then all of them. Some fell to their knees, overcome by the visions of what once was and what could be again. This is what humans have forgotten, Jiho said, walking among them. We weren't meant to fight nature. We were meant to be part of it, to help it think and move and grow. And it was meant to help us live and heal and understand. The commander removed his helmet. His face showed wonder and confusion. I saw everything. The past, the possible futures. And now you have a choice, Jiho said, like Doyun did, like we all do. The glowing fragments of the stone settled on the ground, each one sprouting into a new type of plant never seen before. Within minutes, a garden of light surrounded them all. It's happening everywhere, Suman said, looking at reports on her tablet. The plants are growing in every city, and people are beginning to understand. Not everyone did, of course. Some fought against the changes. Some cut down the new plants in fear. But more and more humans felt the call of the ancient bond, the connection that had always been there, waiting to be remembered. 1 year later, Jiho stood on a hill overlooking what had once been a megacity. Now trees grew alongside buildings. Gardens covered rooftops. The air was cleaner than it had been in centuries. He no longer looked fully human. The green patterns had become permanent. Small leaves grew along his arms. But he wasn't alone. Thousands of others had accepted the bond with the forest mind. Suman joined him, her own transformation just as advanced. The latest report shows 30% of the world's population has joined with the plants in some way, she said. It's happening faster than we hoped. And Neotech? Jiho asked. Changing too. Heyoon approached, followed by Doyun. Both showed signs of the plant bond, though less advanced. They're helping develop new ways to combine technology with living systems. We were wrong before, Doyun admitted. We thought nature was something to control. Now we understand it's something to join with. Jiho nodded. Below them, children played in a new kind of park, where responsive plants grew to create swings and slides and hiding places. The children's laughter mixed with the rustling of leaves in the wind. This is just the beginning, Jiho said. Humans have something no plant ever had. Imagination, creativity, the desire to explore. And now plants have given us what we lacked. Patience, deep wisdom, connection to the earth. Together, Suman said, there's no limit to what we might become. As the sun set, the plants all around them began to glow softly, lighting the new world with a gentle green radiance. The silent bond between human and nature, older than civilization itself, had grown into a power greater than any technology could create. And Earth was finally healing.